forget it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters, and we ain't got nothing to hide.
What is up, TGIF? Welcome into Pregaming. We're here on Sports Money. We do it every day, Monday to Friday, 6 p.m. You already know. And this is what we do. And we're going to get to doing it tonight. We got a full card, fully loaded clip, and a lot of things popping off at 7 o'clock. So we got to hustle tonight. And it's only right. That's the way we move. We move fast. We take some shots. We build some bankrolls. And I'm so excited for tomorrow. We are off and running with another big UFC live event. I got 3 hammer spots already. A plus 400, a plus 1,400, and a plus 2,400 for UFC tomorrow. And when I say hammer, you guys know what we do on Saturdays. Those become hammer spots. Get ready, get set. We're going to make some freaking money. It's going to be outstanding. I cannot, just already 3 of them. I haven't even thought about parlays. Those are just straight plays, straight shots. Got to do the research. Got to do the homework. How about that homework last night? Probably, look, they're not all roses out there for sure. Sabres blew it. Darn them. They were in it long enough for me to go and live bet them. That's what happened on that one as well. So they got me twice. And the Florida under 6 was just a fucking disaster. And so was this Calgary under 6. It was a bad night in the NHL. Sadly. Because I cashed a fucking shot on goal prop for 9-1. So I don't know. Back to the drawing board. I think we got a great spot tonight. Got a couple great spots tonight. So we'll get into that. I literally had to take off today's slate on the top. There was no room. That's how many games I want to get after dinner. We got, let's see what happened here. The Spurs. Cash money for us in the NBA. Big total for a reason. We talked about the intersecting zeros. We cashed on that thing. And shout out to you guys. Man, look, right on. The Rockets stinking Golden State. There's a reason they had triple revenge on their mind. But the triple revenge model does take a hit. So I think it goes to, is it 64-31 now? In that triple revenge spot if you're on the road against a non-conference team and you are the favorite. The Houston Rockets screwed that one up. NC Central got it done. Tight. They were crushing them in that first half, but they got it done for us. Did not get it done. Southeast Louisiana. Those guys. If it takes you longer to type it, then anyways, I think they went under by 10, which was a live betting spot. So halftime, we took a shot at that and clobbered it, but doesn't do us any good for pregame purposes here. Lions first half. Best first half team in the NFL. On point, gets it done for us. Man, we were dialed into that game. Literally talking about the hook. The Sharps wanted the hook. Anything but that hook was just a waste of everybody's time. And speaking of waste of times, how about Reed? All the research I do, trying to come up with some of these spots, these angles, these looks. I don't know how I never found out that this idiot kept saying he can't wait to go into Detroit. And then it was the most bet player prop. And he did nothing. Literally, no call, no show. Didn't even have a grab. I don't even think he had a grab. Son of a bitch, I should have played that fucking Tim dude. I was all Tim Patrick, man. I was talking about him. After the show, backstage before that show. Coulda, woulda, shoulda, didn't, but he came out and romped. And then, hey, my luck with adding last-minute plays continues here. And this is a loss for us. So we got to do some work. We got to get back to it because they were not happening last night. Boy, Lots of great. I hope you guys got a chance to catch that live bet show, though. We nailed it. Split those, or fired off at halftime. The Green Bay team total over 20.5 cashed within the 2 minutes of that second half starting. And then that Green Bay taking that second half cash for us as well. So all in all, okay, not the finest hour. But that's going to happen when we do this on the regular. And we got to get back to it. It's time to get to work. You guys know the deal. Need you to hit that thumbs up button. You know how important it is. Every show, everybody talks about it. I don't care if you don't hit it for anybody else, except for Sports Money Network. We need it. We need your guys' help. We need your support. That's one way to support us. That does let YouTube know there's something going on over here. And then they will promote it to like-minded individuals. You've heard me talk about it. Those like-minded individuals are sharp sports bettors, just like you guys. And if they know that we're over here doing this thing, they'll be inclined to come over here and do this thing. And then after they do this thing, we all start making more money. That's the way it goes. So take a second now, close the chat, hit the thumbs up, then pop the chat back open. I told you we got a lot of work to do. We got to move fast. Take that time now, please. Hit that thumbs up button if you haven't done so already. All right. Just like that, it only takes you a second. It does help us out a ton. And you know the deal. Now is that time to get the pen and paper ready. Time to get them plays laid out there. Glenn Green says you lost every pick you put up yesterday. Just start fading your picks. Look at this guy. Huh. Well, I was pretty transparent about it, Glenn, my friend. Cashed that Lions first half spot. Cashed NC Central, cashed the Spurs. So you would have taken 3 losses right there if you faded them all, my friend. But, hey, man, look, we're not going to win them all. That's the way it goes. But let's see what we can do here today. Let's see if we can get back in the saddle and kick it off, you guys. So get them plays out there in the chat. Let's see what you guys are on as well. It's not just about the people on the screen. It's about you guys in the chat, the sharpest chat in the business. Let's see if Glenn's going to put some picks out there for us. Let's see if Glenn's got something to say today. That's what I want to see is Glenn's picks before the game. Not coming in here afterwards talking about how easy it was to cash that Detroit Lions first half last night. No, let's see him, Glenn. Let's see what you got, my friend. And let's go. Joe T cashed that head-to-head battle last night with me in the St. Louis Blues game. Joe T picks up the Blue Jackets and the Canucks over 6 tonight. I told you guys, man, that community tab is fire. We showed you guys where it was yesterday. Showed you where it was, showed you how to access it, showed you where that information sits. And look at this. The community tab poll is now 22-7. 22-7. Had over 100 votes yesterday. 70% Green Bay plus 3.5. Smashed it. Nice job, you guys. Keep going. Keep rolling. Joe T says, check my best bets and Gonzo's best bets there as well. The sub club gets his soccer plays posted out there. All kinds of things happening in the world of sports money, and you want to make sure that you stay glued in to that community tab. Shout out to NJ Strikers in the house. There's Trans Canada. He's ready to roll. Old E in the house. Jake Peasy says, think I'm moving on the Canucks. Canucks, pal, Blue Jackets. Either win or lose by more than a goal. Canucks are going to beat the snot out of them tonight. That's what I think. Oh, puck line. I got you. I was like, Shout out to Trisha M's rocking here tonight. Oldie says, I like the tight end on Western Kentucky tonight. Noah Myers. He should get some touches. Shout out to Trisha M. Shout out to Bo Jackson. I hope you had a good time last night, Bo. Not such a great outcome for them Raptors, but the undercashed with these. We talked a little bit about that one. JPZ says, only team in the NHL that starts with an S I'll be moving forward is in Dallas. Stars. Trisha M says, Ice Cats -6. Under 6 was a disaster. Flyers are sorry. Luckily, we rebound in game on the live, and then Detroit came through for the parlay. Not sure what's up tonight. Looking for the Friday night guidance. Let's go. Justin McKelvey's here. He says, sports money is money. Canada's rocking. Textiles in the house. Let's go. Cameron Sinet says tomorrow's UFC card will be record-setting winnings. Tomorrow's UFC card looks really exciting. It really does. A lot of great fights on the card. A lot of great spots on the card. Can't wait. Cannot wait. Let's get to work. Let's go after it. Ramon Scott's kind of leading us in here with that Rangers. It's going to be the second game that we talk about, but that organization is a complete fucking mess. And I'll give you the sneak peek right now. I'm going to pay to find out. At a plus 170, I think it's plus 170. I don't know what the fuck's going on over there. Shesterkin was backing himself, and it was that big news. He's the latest guy to come out there in the market and say, I want to reset and reestablish the goaltending market and bet on myself. We just talked about him shit in the bed over 3 goals against average in the start of the season. Then they just trade off Trouba, their captain. Dude, they did him dirty on top of that, too. They weren't just like, hey, you're our captain and waive your no trade clause. They're basically like, you're a piece of shit. You've done nothing to earn the contract we've given you, and get the hell out of here as fast as humanly possible. And if you don't waive your no trade clause, then we're going to release you and eat your salary. Good luck getting on another team. Now, the Anaheim Ducks, I don't know, they have chosen to be bottom feeders, and they bring on shitbags. We talked about, we won't even mention his name, the former Flyer that got picked up and then traded off. Goodbye, good riddance. He ghosted on everybody, and Anaheim Ducks will take him. Now they want Trouba. They'll take him. All right, Anaheim, I guess. Good for you. But we're going to be fading them Rangers here. I don't know what's going on, and that's a beautiful price tag for a team on a 4-game winning streak for the Pittsburgh Penguins. So there's a little sneak peek for the action out there. Shout out to Keith each and every strike. It's a great time last night. I like Pascal Siakam points, rebounds, and assists. Let's go. Cameron says Rachmaninoff to win by split or majority decision, plus 900. Sterling by submission. Pantoja by rear naked choke at plus 300. Christmas gift to the chat from one Cameron Sinet. He disagrees with my play. Shout out to all you guys, man. Let's go. I see Textile says, I know I have my first 7 straight days of winning in at least 3 months. Keep learning, growing, and cashing. That's what it's all about. The ups and the downs. Joe W's in the house. Irish Kings here. Nasty Nate says, shout out to Glenn's mom for never spitting once. Need Genti to have a big night tonight for that Boise State game, says NJ Striker. That's probably going to be the game of the night right there. That would be my estimation, is that is game of the night. Cameron Sinet says, have 1K on each of them and 500. All right, let me let the cat out of the bag here. If you're not holding on to a ticket that looks, let me find it. You know what? I might just drop it in the community tab. Let me tell you this. I got this premonition. I got this vision of $100 making 50K. It's 2 legs. 2 legs. One of them's in the UFC. One of them's in the NFL. You want me to tell you which one in the NFL? We don't have time for this, you guys. Let me say this. I don't know what the hell's going on that a guy's got no touchdowns in his entire NFL career, and yet he is the number 2 most popular touchdown prop this weekend. What the fuck is going on in the public that this guy's getting crushed? And he's at plus 2,400, not to score the first touchdown, to get any touchdown. Any whatsoever. 2,400. I had to take a shot. I mean, shit, somebody might know something. Maybe the script got released. Then I parlayed it with a plus 1,400, or is it 1,900, in the UFC. Got to listen to these interviews. They tell you what they're going to do. They tell you how it's going to go down. I don't know. I just don't know. But I do know our guy, Old E, gifted a sports money membership. He's helping us grow this community. He's a loyal trooper rocking with us on the regular, spending all his time hanging out, being a good sport, creating a positive environment. Hopefully Glenn, who wasn't a member, but is talking shit, can check it out and see what we do long term and how we roll. So let's go. Textile says Lakers Q4 money line. Bron ruled in. Let's go. That's great news. That's great news. Shout out to Gonzo. Shout out to Big Worm in the house. Nate the Train by KO. I can't wait. It's going to be fun. Feels like, I don't know why it feels like we haven't had UFC in a while. I guess because we didn't have it last weekend, right? I guess that's why. I'm fired up for it. I'm excited. I can't wait. I got the biggest, it's either going to be the biggest throwaway ticket or it's the ticket you'll never stop hearing about. $100 to win $50K. That's what's going to go on there. That's what's going on there. I don't know. Maybe I got a problem. It's not a problem if you're winning, though. Let's go, you guys. Let's get to work here tonight. We got a lot of card to get to. We don't have a lot of time to do it. So let's pop right off. Let's talk about this first game right off the gate here. We're going to look at the Washington Capitals. We're going to look at the Toronto Maple Leafs. And yikes. If you're the Washington Capitals, that's all you can say after getting beat up by the San Jose Sharks. What happened? You know, shout out a couple of you guys. I know DM, we were exchanging messages about fading these Capitals and Noah Ovechkin expecting him to kind of wither on the vine. That hasn't happened until the fucking big price tag with this San Jose Sharks game that I don't think we were anywhere near that game, but nonetheless, yeah, that's ugly. I mean, you come into this thing and you're laying a minus 290, almost $3 to the Sharks, and you lose 2-1. Plenty of goals, with the exception of that Sharks game. 4-1, 5-4, 5-4, 6-5, all wins, all competitive games, all scoring and crushing the totals until said San Jose Sharks come into town. Then you got the Maple Leafs rolling in here, 4-1 in their last, but they're tearing it up right now. Shout out to Toronto and everything that they're doing. And they're scoring goals. That's another thing that we like out there. They have been riding a little bit of the under train, especially the last two games, 3-2 against Nashville, 4-1 against Chicago, but back-to-back home games, now going to be their third straight home game in a row. And when you look at goaltending, if you're looking for goals, I think you're going to see them tonight. What we've got when you look at this Washington Capitals side of things is Charlie Lindgren's coming in. He's got that 2.95 goals against average. He's got an 89% save percentage. And he's been getting shelled. His last two games, 9 goals total. Getting crushed, getting lit up. Christmas tree. Now, Ovechkin, man, they are built different in Russia. You know, we talk about this with the UFC. That dude broke his leg 17 days ago. I think it's 18 days ago now. He's skating around the ice like it's not a thing. I'm blown away to see the resolve. And you know that's got to fire the team up. This guy's that fast back on the ice, ready to go, and then they play that dud against the San Jose Sharks. Stoller's going on the other side for the Toronto Maple Leafs. 3-game winning streak as well. 27 to 28 saves against that Chicago Blackhawks team, but, it's the Chicago Blackhawks. Against the East on the road, they are not a team that's scoring goals anyway, so not to get too excited. They were low-quality shots. But high-quality play for us to pop this game off here. Pop our card off tonight. Call this one the Glenn Special. Take the first period over 1.5. I know that Toronto's been an under city lately. I know there's been a ton of those, just lower scoring. They play defense. They find enough. It's kind of this new style. It's almost like it's a new era trap style that they're out there playing. But I think the motivation's there. We've got some weaker goaltenders going in the goal. We've got the Capitals are the best first period over team on the road. Now the Leafs are a great under first period team. But 9-1 to the under in the last 10. At some point, that little levy's got to break. And I think you take a Capitals team that's pissed off coming into town after that San Jose Sharks spot, and I think you got to take this Capitals first period over 1.5. I suspect Toronto wins this game, and if you're going to play Toronto, I would take a -1 for the big plus 180 score. They're at home. They've just continued to dominate. Maybe now the wind is coming out of the sails of those Capitals, and they need Ovechkin to come back in this game. But for now, give me the Capitals. Give me the first period over 1.5. That'll be how we pop off. That's going to be how we get things going. Cameron says, shout out to Grandma. Grandma horse racing in the house. She got the Gifted Sports Money membership out there for us. Appreciate you, Grandma, for all that you do. Even the extras. I got the shot glasses here. I got the Grandma's horse racing shot glasses here. Appreciate you, Grandma. Thank you. Thank you for rocking that. Gifting a Sports Money membership. Justin says $100 for 50K. Sign me up. It's 2 plays. What could go wrong? What could go wrong? Trisha says my neighbors are Russian, certainly a special breed. Nuke says the Leafs won't lose another game. It's probably true until the playoffs. They finally got through that first series, though, right? That was their Achilles heel, right? Cameron says my $500 3-legger will pay $220K. Gonna get me a property in Puerto Rico, and this will be the last year I get these effing W-2 forms. Let's go. Let's go. Appreciate you guys rocking. Let's go. All right, so we got this capital spot to pop off. Let's go to game number 2. I think I screwed up the order. I already told you about this one. I'm going to fuck around and find out. And I'm going to take a plus 170 at it while I do it. Rangers got to show me. You got to show me. You're struggling right now. Your captain. Now, they don't take the captain lightly, although apparently they just don't care anymore. But I think they've only had, I wonder how many, they haven't had a lot of captains. Let me put it that way. I remember, and the reason I know this is because Ryan Callahan, the hometown kid around here, spent that time down in the Rangers with Tortorella, gets that captainship, and they've only had now he's not even playing in the NHL anymore. They've only had 2 captains since him, and they traded him on down to Tampa Bay. They also traded their follow-up captain to Tampa, and then they had Trouba. And they paid him the big money, and they just treated him like a complete pile of dog shit. The Penguins have won 4 straight, as I mentioned. Nedeljkovic is fresh. He's going in goal on the Penguin side of things. He's only played 1 time in the last 4 games, and he saved 30 of 32 shots. The Rangers just embarrassed the Penguins, beat them up 6-0 the last time they played each other. So you got a revenge-minded Penguins team that's on a little bit of a streak against a team in disarray. And they are going to Shesterkin. The wild card there is the fact that he just came off that big contract, as Ramon had mentioned at the start of the show. I don't need to pretty it up. I'm taking a shot. This Rangers team's a fucking mess. And I'm going to take a shot at it with a team that's running hot and in revenge mode. And that's pretty much all I have to say about that. All I have to say about that. Matter of fact, we won't say any more about that. We'll keep her moving. We'll go on to this Dallas and Vegas game. Game of the night alert. Game of the night alert. We need a pimp slap POD and a grandma's wearing your sister's panties POD. Okay. All right. Well, we call this one the pimp slap POD if that's what you want to do. Dallas Stars firing in this game here. And a big opportunity for bounce back situation. Not such a great finish there. The Vegas Golden Knights coming back home. 17-7-3 are these Vegas Golden Knights. And when you look at these 2 goaltenders here, we've got Aiden Hill confirmed for the Vegas Golden Knights. He's got that 90% save percentage. 11-4 is his record on the season with that 2.67 goals against average. Hill off a shutout. 1-0. That was the second one of the season. Flip side, the Stars are firing. Stars have won 3 of their last 4. Obviously a bad spot that last game out there. Gave up 3 unanswered goals against that Los Angeles Kings team. Now, we were on the Kings with the expectation that this was going to be the game that we jump in and take the Dallas Stars. 13-5 is Ottinger. He's got a 2.56 goals against average. He's got a 91.2% save percentage. Definitely didn't answer the bell that last game. 3 goals, 17 shots. Not going to get it done. Got to play a little bit harder than that. And they're going to run back to him. They're going to try to let him wear that thing out there and shake it off. Shake it off. Shake it off. Big battle. Western Conference showdown. Potential playoff teams in the making here. Vegas has had a tremendous first start to the season at home. They're 10-3. And they're scoring 4 goals a game. Third most in the NHL for home teams. We know that first period overs, right? They've been not so automatic lately, but we know Vegas first period overs is certainly the way to go. Defensively, they're holding teams to under 3 goals a game. Dallas not so great on the road. 6-7 on the road for this squad out there. There's a ton of systems going on right now for this Dallas Stars team. You know, the biggest one I came across here is when you're the road favorite and your opponent's got a rest situation. So either they're on the second leg of a back-to-back and had 1 day's rest in between that, or flip them. 1 day's rest, and then before that, they were on the second leg of a back-to-back. So essentially, you're looking at 3 games in a 2-day stretch. Or 3-day stretch, I guess. We screwed that up. Road team up to a minus 160, and either on the second leg of a back-to-back with 1 day's rest prior, or flip it. 413 and 216. That's the bottom line. It's almost 2-1. Huge advantage. And if you look at this line, doesn't that tell you everything? Overall, you got this team coming in, and one of the hottest teams at home in the NHL are the Vegas Golden Knights, and yet the Dallas Stars sitting at a minus 120. Yeah, we'll call that the pimp slap if you want to throw a name on one of the plays of the day for that one there. Yeah, that's my favorite hockey play. This one got laid out first thing this morning. As I mentioned, full anticipation from that the other day, especially having them lose to that Kings team. That just made it such a hammer. Pop them over the head, drag them out. Let's get that cash. That's going to do it for the NHL. 3 games. Let's see what you guys have to say here. KV's in the house. JPZ likes the Rangers puck line. Says, let's fucking go. Okay. KV says, Crosby point game number 1,300. Zibanejad point, 1 goal away from 500, 2 assists away from 400. Well, New Jersey in regulation with Brett point number 500. Wow. Derek B, looking forward to the UFC. And shout out, Lauren's in the house. Says, why is Vegas an underdog? That's exactly my point. That's exactly the point. That's a fucking suspect line and then some. Shout out to Juggler 23, 22-6, his last 28 posted plays. Says he's due for some regression. I don't know, man. Winners keep finding a way to win, is what I know. Says Big Ten home teams in conference games, 72-38 against the spread when underdogs are favored to -3. Does play on Northwestern. I like that Northwestern look. Shout out to TransCanada. Juggler says teams having lost their last 4 games or more have been fantastic in rare role of playing as road favorites. It's a Pacer spot tonight. I like that Pacer spot. Jugglers, Dana Dubs says the Pacers suck on Friday. Is that a thing? Do they suck on Friday? It's the first time I think I've heard it. If it is, I want to know about it. And Juggler 23 says in games between 2 teams with 40% or less winning percentage and lines of 4.5 or less, either way, road teams are 97-64, 96-62 against the spread. That's the Jazz +3. Woo! I don't know if I can get down with them. I like it though. I like it. There is a 3-point parlay boost out there for DraftKings. We might as well pop it off. We're going to go back to our guy. Start this show off right. Now, you might be saying, how come we didn't play him the other day when he was -130, but now today we are playing him? Look at the total. It's the highest total on the board. It's like 250. Dude should ball. He should go out there, crush it, do exactly what he does every single game. Man, I think we caught this guy literally right at the start of this thing. And he has been a fucking absolute workhorse for us ever since. And there's no reason not to go back to him. So we're going to kick that off in this direction here. I'll fire off a couple more three-pointer props for you guys that if you're interested in that DK bonus, then make sure you take it. Is Jason Tatum's over 3.5 threes, Vuce over 1.5 threes, Jeremy Grant under 1.5 threes, and Trae Young over 2.5 threes. That made up my parlay slip for anybody that's interested in taking. I mean, it's not a huge number that you can put out there, but that paid out 15-1. I'll take a 15-1 payout. Cash that shot on goal parlay yesterday. Hell yeah. All right. Let's move on. Gotta pick up this pace here. We got to get moving. All right. The Magic and the Sixers. We'll take a look at the cash flow. I'll give you guys just a couple of quick pieces on it. And then, like I said, there's a lot of games that we have to cover here for the 7 o'clock start, specifically college basketball and college football, too. So no time to dilly-dally. The Sixers opened up as 3.5-point home dogs. Pretty much split. 53% of the bets are on the Magic. 46% of the cash are on the Magic. Then you look at the total. It's come down 2 points from 209.5 to 207.5. 82% of the bets and 81% of the cash are on the over. And probably one of the truest tests of all time. The bounce back revenge situation at home. On a Friday night on top of it. Orlando Magic just came in there and, handled them. 106-102. But here's the thing. When we talk about line functionality, that line opened up at 5.5. Sixers covered. Lost. We know Embiid's out. But the line's come down 2 points to 3.5. Because it's a bounce back spot. That's exactly what's going on here Friday night in the city of Philadelphia. Trying to get another crack at this team that disrespected them. And you want to know about a team that's in a revenge spot? How about them Sixers? 14-0 versus conference when they are in the revenge spot after a home game. Bounce back extraordinaire. I think they win this thing outright. Yeah, I'll take the 3.5. 3.5 in my back pocket. I may have parlayed the Sixers money line together with the Lakers money line. Just trying to maximize that dollar. But plus 3.5, minus 108. Seemed like good money. Let's go. Shout out to you, AOD. Appreciate you guys rocking. Juggler23 says, my only NCAA football wager will be on his alma mater, Arnie. +5. Let's go. It's exciting, man. See him in the AAC. It's exciting. Exciting to see him in a championship game, playing for something important. It's awesome. All right, so we pop off with the Sixers in that revenge spot. Game number 2 we're going to get to here. The Kings and the Spurs. Kings and Spurs, we open up. We got... We open up at -2.5. It's shot up to 5s, 6s, 6.5s. We have 53% of the bets and 52% of the cash in the Spurs. That's called reverse line movement. Then we look at the total. It's gone from 227 to 228 with 84% of the bets and 85% of the cash on the over. That makes sense. We saw the Spurs just play. Spurs came out there, taking down a Chicago Bulls team. Well, they didn't take them down, but they went over the number, screamed over that 236.5. No defense whatsoever. 139-124. They lose to the Bulls. And the Kings coming in with a situation where they just played Memphis. They just lost to Memphis. 115-110, a high total, 243. Overall, across the rosters, doubtful is Wemby. Doubtful is Wemby. And if anybody's heard any different, maybe that's why this line's starting to come back a little bit. I don't know. I know I got a shit number compared to what's out there now. The best number available is not at FanDuel. FanDuel's hanging a 5. DraftKings has got 4.5. Man, DraftKings has got themselves in the low price market on a couple of games today that we're all over here. But 6.5 was the number that I laid out this thing with this Spurs Kings game. And We'll go by the numbers here on a couple of these things. And this one just came down to the situation with the Spurs. Where was it? Where did it go? Where did it go? Where are my notes? What happened to my notes? Oh, of course, I can't find it now. Of course. Shit. Oopsie. Well, can't seem to find this one. Where the hell did it go? Hate when that happens. But I can tell you, it's a Spurs spot. Or, I'm sorry, King spot. A lot of this action looked at Spurs. I'm sorry, at the Spurs under action. Also looking at this thing, seeing that the Kings are in a strong under position, but I was ultimately looking at this thing as, come on, where the fuck was it? I hate not to. Maybe I shouldn't put notes all over the place. Maybe they should be in one centralized and consolidated system here. I'm going to have to come back to it. But I'm on it. I'm on the Kings in the spot here. I know it's a revenge factor for these boys as well. NBA revenge game, the favorite who lost their previous favorite matchup, big spot out there, 492 and 294. Revenge was kind of the mind and the narrative that I put across the card today as we kind of exploit this thing here. So that was the case, but I wish I could find that number. Oh, well, got to move on. Don't have enough time. Not enough time. Never enough time. Fans can't. The official play. Shit. My bad, guys. It's still an official play. I can't get the, I don't know if I deleted it. I don't know what the hell happened. But anyways, we got to move on. We don't have time. We got the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Golden State Warriors to close out the NBA card here today. And it is a later spot. Timberwolves, Warriors. Big game the other day. Opened up as 2.5-point favorites. Now moved to a 1 and 1.5 point dog. You have 64% of the bets and 70% of the cash on the T-Wolves. Then you look at the total. It's dropped 3 full points with reverse line movement. 83% of the bets, but only 68% of the cash hitting that over. And that little bit of difference in the cash concerned the books. Some sharper bettors, respected bettors coming in, hitting on this under. And that's what I'll be hitting on as well. Overall, between these two teams here and kind of their situations and recent performances, the Warriors obviously just took care of Houston yesterday. I know they had the back-to-back road games. I expected more out of Houston. 99-93 was not the game I expected to go down out there. They had a 218 total. It still went under. The Warriors have now gone under in 4 straight games. But that Denver, 2 games ago, that Denver spot sticks out to me. Those legs potentially gassing out. And it's an older team in this Golden State Warriors. So that's definitely a point of contention. You look at the Timberwolves, they've got 3 straight wins, and they've got a 1 day's rest advantage and minimal travel spot. Because if you look at it, they played the Clippers, they played the Lakers. Those are both home games. Then they roll out to LA Clippers, and then they have a day off in between. So not a ton of travel, in a position to kick some ass. But again, 4 straight unders for these guys as well. They both are playing tempo. They're both playing their own tempo and playing defensive-oriented games. Here's an intersecting 0 spot for you guys. The Minnesota Timberwolves are 8-0 to the under. In conference play, if they have rest advantage and covered the spread the last game they played. 8-0 to the under. Conference rest advantage off a cover. Under. Golden State, 8-0 to the under. In the revenge game against a team that had less than 15 turnovers their previous game. These teams run their own tempo. They're going to both outpace each other. We're going to see another lower scoring game. We're going to take this number, even though it's dropped 3 points from the original opening. It's moving in that direction with sharp betting on it, and we're going to tail it. Jump on that one. Yikes. Tulane and Army. Big game. Big game here. Conference championship weekend. A lot of fun. Lots of numbers. We get to go into the section of the database that gives us conference championship stats. Different numbers of that effect. And this Army line's moving in the wrong direction. 53% of the bets and 61% of the cash are on Tulane. 8 p.m. start. And the line's moving to 5.5 for Army. You're getting 5.5 points with Army. Then you look at, and then considering Juggler 23 stat there, it's a lot of number. This total's dropped from 48.5 to 45.5, and there's reverse line movement there. 78% of the bets and 66% of the cash on the over. I looked at all these conference championship games. Every single one of them has a strong influence for me on the under. Every single one of them. And it makes sense. They're championship games. We got the lines are moving down on just about all of them. In fact, the only one that really hasn't had any movements, Iowa State and Arizona State. And at first thought, you might consider yourself with the old Iowa States there and say, oh, that's going to be an under. I think that one has the potential to go over the total. I think Clemson and SMU can be a shootout as well, but the rest of these games are all looking like dead unders to me. Maybe Penn State, Oregon. I'm not entirely sure, but I'll tell you, from an under trend perspective in this game, what we do have going out there, a couple of things. One, these teams run the ball a lot. We've got a championship dog. If their wins are more than the other, if you take their wins and you subtract the other team's wins and it's greater than 0, I can't make this up. It's 19-5 to the under. So Army comes into this one with 11 wins. Navy comes into this one with, Army comes in with 10 wins. Tulane comes in with 9 wins. 10 minus 9 is 1. 1 is greater than 0. It's a championship game, and it's a big 19-5 trend to the under. Not sure the correlation. But if you think about these games, these teams, Army, they run that triple monster. And the best way to go out there and handle a Tulane squad is to keep that offense on the field. Keep the chains moving. That's going to be a challenge because Tulane, number 15th overall in third downs. How about that? Held their opponents to 7 for 23 on fourth down conversion attempts is number 2 nationally. So third and fourth downs and moving the chains are going to be a difficult challenge for this Army team, but they've got that uniqueness because they do have that, triple threat, if you will. Overall, Army's head coach, 39, 24, and 2 against the spread is a dog, covering the spreads by 4.5 points a game. Over the last 10 years, service academies, this is where I was thinking about jumping in. Service academy schools, last 10 years, 96 and 66 against the spread in the first half if they're in the dog roll. How about that? On the other side, Tulane, 19 and 7 against the spread as a favorite is their coach, John Sumrall. 19 and 7 against the spread when they're in the favorite role. Covered by over a touchdown. Plenty of margin. 11 and 0 when laying road points. The road favorite, 11 and 0 against the spread. But teams that lost as a double-digit favorite before their conference championship game, that is the donut that we saw Tulane put up their last game, are just 5 and 10 straight up and 5 and 10 against the spread when it comes to that conference championship game. Conference championship unders in below freezing conditions have gone 7 and 3 and staying well under by a touchdown. I'm on the under. Give you guys a bunch of stats and trends to consider out there for that one, but I like the under. I like this Army first half. I didn't officially pull the trigger on this Army first half. I might. We got till 8 o'clock. Let's see what that looks like just for first half comparison purposes. 3.5. 3.5. It's a lot of points. It's a lot of points. Might have to get there, especially here in the Service Academy records in the first half. I think it's, even though Navy's kind of changed some things up this year and they don't run the same style of offense that they used to, that's relevant because it takes teams adjusting, to that triple attack. And it takes them that second half to make those adjustments to be able to go out there and figure out. It's one thing to practice against it, but when you play a program that does it every single day, week in and week out, year in and year out, they're fucking good at it. So even your practice squad's not going to be anywhere near capable of doing that. And that's why these first halves come in for service academies. Makes a lot of sense to me. All right, let's go. Let's keep her moving. Let's get on to UNLV. And I did take this one in the first half. We look at these numbers. We look at these overalls. We've got UNLV from a +5 down to a 4.5 with 50% of the bets and 61% of the cash coming in on UNLV. They like this road dog. Totals dropped from 59 to 57.5. And yet you have 61% of the bets and 55% of the cash on the over. So a 1.5 down tick. Big battle. 10-2 UNLV, ranked number 20. Boise State, ranked number 10. This is the game that we talked about a couple weeks ago. We jumped on UNLV, expecting them to find a way to come through for us, and they were leading like 3/4 of that game. Genty in that fourth quarter. That's what happens with running teams. That offensive line grinds you down, and then that separation comes in at the end of the game. Leading most of it, heartbroken, but getting a chance to take their revenge. Do they take their revenge? We'll see. But, at the end of the day, 29-24 game. They've had a few games in between there, obviously, since then, and they've won them all. So that was a season low. They didn't hang their head. They picked up their bottoms. They got back out there, and they fought. And I expect them to start now. It's going to be some elevation. It's going to be cold. Probably going to be a little bit of weather in this game as well. I like the under. I think the under is a strong look, but I took a side. I jumped in. Give me a side in this battle. I want this UNLV first half. DraftKings. This is what I said earlier, that DraftKings has got some low price shopping going on right now. This is one of those spots where they had 3.5 and everybody else was hanging like 2.5s. And look, both these teams rush. Here's the thing about the under, and I'll just kind of keep it simple and short and sweet. When you have two teams that run the ball really well, but also stop other teams from running the ball really well, essentially what that means is you've got a team that runs the ball and then underperforms. It leads to unders. Why are they underperforming? Well, they're underperforming because the team they're playing has a good run defense. And in that scenario, like this game, the under's hit like 30 straight times. UNLV is 11-0 against the spread on the road when they're not a double-digit favorite either. So some numbers baked in there. I support UNLV. I think it's going to be a fun game. Fuck Boise State. That being said, though, it should be a great game. Genty's going to be a lot of fun to watch. He's the guy, the talk around town, potential Heisman champion. See where he ends up going in the NFL draft. But I think it's going to be a slow ground and pounder. Tick, 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 tick. See this under come through. And 3.5 points over the field goal and the hook on this thing for that first half is good money. So we'll take that spot and run with it. Let's see what we got. Too many games, you guys. I thought about it afterwards because as I'm downloading and uploading and editing, and I'm like, there's a shitload of games in here. But look, got to take our shot where it makes sense. This is one of those games. We talked about it yesterday. We talked about it the day before. This is one of those Steam report games. The Sharp report. Not the Steam report, the Sharp report. Actionable bettors identified in Vegas making moves, and they're making moves on the Iona goals at 2-7 against the Sacred Heart Pioneers. The line opened up at 1. All this money coming in. 80% of the bets, 60% of the cash coming in on Sacred Heart. Line hasn't moved. Total started at 142.5. It's sitting at 142.5. 78% of the bets, 78% of the cash on the over. These are two shit schools. There's no question about it. Overall, when you look at these guys, they shoot poor. They don't play much defense. And yet their scores still tend to stay low because they're just bad. NIL dollars will change things. They'll be able to recruit and attract new talent out there. Sacred Heart, 3 wins in their last 4 games. You think about the NIL dollars, kind of comes down to you could be a backup down in like North Carolina, or they'll give you $1 million to come out there and play for Sacred Heart, and you can be a starter. Yeah, sign me up. Take the millie. Boston University was the most recent dominating victory on the road as a 5-point dog that Sacred Heart came into. Probably next to Brown, the biggest opponent they played on the season. They smashed New Hampshire. Remember we talked about how bad New Hampshire was the other day, 2-9. Just because you played a lot of games doesn't mean you're learning anything. They smashed them, 80-63. And, Iona struggling in their own right. 1-4 in their last 5. The Sharps think they have a shot to win this game outright. They played at Rice. They lost 70-66. Covered the spread. They lost against Indiana State, 83-80. Covered the spread. They beat Tarleton. They were laying 6. They won by 11. Covering spreads. Winning games. That's how we get paid. Covering spreads. In this case, they got to win this game. It's the Sharps team report. We're going to take this Iona Gulls team. And I just want to keep it short for you guys because that one's going to pop off here at 7. I took them on the money line. Was able to wrangle in a -114. I'm not going to bicker over that point. 115s, 122s, 125s now starting to creep in that market. Starting to creeper on in there. And then last game. Making good time. Really picked it up. Huff is not playing for Jackson State, is my understanding. I will double check, but I thought I saw that earlier today. Maybe Ramon would know. I don't know if Ramon's still in there. Let me look. I like Jacksonville State in that game. I like the under in that game too, incidentally. The thing about that game, if you look at their, last couple of spots out there, I mean, they just played each other. Literally, they just played each other. Their last game, 7 days ago. 1917 final. Western Kentucky gets the win, so a bounce back opportunity to exact revenge in a game that does matter. That last game didn't matter. I expect that. Don't get fooled so much by the score in that game. I don't think either team wanted to show each other the tape. They didn't want to let a lot of chalk get out there to be able to figure out how to go out and stop them here. And the line movement after coming off that loss. Okay, Steve Bailey says Huff is playing. Okay. Yeah, I thought I saw he wasn't, but now I see he's got player props out there. So, all right, working as a team. Beat the steam. Team steam. Ramon Scott. 9 a.m. Monday to Sunday. Last game, big one. Kent State, big one against Portland. The college basketball schedule sucked today. I didn't really like much of all. But I did like this game. Do have a nice little juicy trend for you in this game. Something with a little meat to it that might get you excited about this opportunity. And no, we're not looking at the dog. This game opened up 86% of the bets and 78% of the cash came in on Portland. The lines moved a full point. 13s and 13.5s now. Even though all that money's coming in, they're making it more attractive to bet on Portland. And the total swelling from 135.5 to 140.5. So you had 5 points of movement, 77% of the bets and 73% of the cash on the over. And it's moved in that direction, expecting points, and more points. But overall, I mean, I'm not sure I get down with that. You got 4 straight unders for this Kent State team. Portland's so bad, though, that their opponents are having a field day with them. And that's not going to change tonight. They did take down Denver 101 to 90. Crazy. 50 full points over the total. They lost to Princeton 94-67. They lost to Ohio, a MAC school, 85-73. And it's so important to notate when you've got those conference components, because teams are built to play within their conference. And those gaps, when they go out of conference, tend to exist in all of those same programs. So I'm benchmarking this Portland team against Ohio in that disgusting loss and thinking Kent State should have a tremendous matchup advantage against these guys. They just came off of beating up Kennesaw. They lost to Irvine, 51-39. It's like a first half score. It's like a women's college basketball score, 51-39. But they figured it out. They got right. They go out there. They beat Kennesaw 67-60. The big trend for you guys on this one, let me make sure I can find it now. I don't want to set it up and then let everybody down again here. Felt like I did that earlier. And yet here I am. Oh, boy. Bear with me. What the fuck? 7 p.m. start. It's going to pop off here just a minute right now, but home teams on a home stand versus a poor shooting team, 77-21 against the spread. Think about the sight lines changing because you're on the road and you're a bad team to begin with that doesn't shoot well. That home team in a home stand, this is going to be the third straight home game for Kent State. And it puts them at 77-21. Kicking ass, taking names. We're going to run right with them as well. You're going to lay some number. You are going to lay some number. It's 8-2 in its last 10, but 13 points. Margin of victory in that spot's over 6.2. Plenty of margin to work with on that thing. And that's going to be the way we close the show. Kent State, -13 against Portland. Lay the wood. Don't worry about it. Don't think twice. Remote says Lashes give up just 61 points per game, and their specialty is defense outside shooters, which Portland features. Davis has a big night for Kent State. I agree. I don't know about the defense, though. But we'll see. -13. We got a big, beefy trend on it. Appreciate all you guys rocking with us here tonight. And we got it in. We got all these plays knocked out. Now it's just a matter of having a cocktail, waiting to see if they cash. Juggler23 says, let's rock tomorrow on the UFC wagers. Let me share this with you guys. I don't know why. I will tell you who it is, but I don't know why. Go down. This is the bet, the NFL player, the touchdown prop. The second most guy bet in touchdown props in the NFL. Crazy. That has not scored this season. Not scored ever. Wow. Outside of the NFL. Prentice for the New Orleans Saints. Prentice. The second most heavily bet touchdown prop on the card this weekend. Prentice. Earlier today, he was plus 2,400. He's now plus 2,300 over at FanDuel. I bet him. I also got him in that parlay I told you guys about. So do with that information what you will. I hope you guys enjoy a great Friday night. Good luck with your action. Make sure you tune in tomorrow morning, the morning steam with Ramon Scott at 9 a.m. Then we'll be rocking at 5:30 p.m. Get back, get ready to attack the books. The UFC is back. I believe it's UFC 310. They're in Vegas. It looks like an excellent fight card. And I'll share with you that parlay. $100 to win $50K. Gonna be a fun night. I can't wait. Good luck with everyone's action tonight. Thank you guys for coming in here on the regular with us. The gifted memberships from Old E and Grandma Horse Racing mean an absolute ton. We appreciate your support and helping us grow this community. We are listener supported. Every time you guys help bring in a new member, means a ton to everybody here. So on behalf of the entire Sports Money crew, thank you to Oldie, Grandma Horse Racing, and all the rest of you guys. I hope you have a terrific Friday night. Get ready, get set. Saturday's going to be a banger. We'll see you guys there. Good luck. Monday to Friday, 6 p.m. We don't stop. Bring sleep or snow. Pregaming is good to go.
Snow, Curtis blow, flow, fuck all you haters. Fuck making bitch using best simulators. Fuck cashing in, all we wanna do is win. Put the juice in the gin, now it's time to begin. Fuck the books, they can take it on the chin. Surrendering dividends, don't fuck with Ryan Cam. The show starts with capping and ends with pimp slapping and stacking cash and bolos. They won't know what happened. It's pre-gaming and others, they seem lame. Like Abel meeting Cain, bullet